This week, continuing our SUV series, we've got Audi's very big, very bold, and very beautiful Q7 S-Line. Q7's been out for quite a while, and some of the updates that this limousine-like SUV got at the last update were these smashing LED lights. They're full matrix and they're fully automatic. That means they always leave whoever is oncoming in a pool of dimmed light. There's headlight washers as well, and this rather good all-in-one grille as opposed to the divided grille that Audis used to have. There's a couple of radar sensors, some sonar sensors as well for parking, and an S-Line badge to let people know you've spent more money. Most importantly, stick your hand in the door and it unlocks. Press the button and it locks again. Also standard are these 21-inch 5-spoke wheels. This Q7 also has the towing package and a couple of other things that are useful too, like the kick to open back door. Be careful you don't actually kick the tow hitch. When the back door opens, the rear cargo divider slides up and out of your way, so you don't have to take it out of the way if you don't want to use it. All of this stuff back here is electric. There's little buttons here that raise all over the seats. And this is a particularly handy button. This raises or lowers the back of the car. So you probably can't see that at the moment, but that's actually going down. One more touch will bring it back up to normal height. And that's all thanks to the air suspension. One of the other clever things this car has is a Bose sound system. So under the floor where you'd expect to find a spare tyre is the tyre repair kit and the Bose sound system. Yes, this doesn't have a spare tyre. And there's a couple of buttons up here. One closes the door and the other one closes and locks the door. But inside is positively beautiful. There's privacy glass, of course, all around, and a glass sunroof overhead. These seats are incredibly comfortable, and in the back there's cargo nets behind each seat. Look at the amount of legroom. I mean, that's enormous. And that's with the seat set for me. There's controls for 2 of the 4 climate zones. Rear vision back here is a little bit limited. You've got to keep doing that to see what's going on. As well as the floor level vents, there are vents up here in the B-pillar and some tasteful metal trim. And in the front seats, I can't tell you how much technology has been lavished on this car. It is nothing short of extraordinary. I'm just going to turn the engine on and you'll notice a whole bunch of things happening. First, the mirrors unfold and the active display comes to life. But this is what I particularly want to show you, the center console. There are 2 screens here, an upper and a lower screen, and they're divided into quite distinct functions. And as you touch each one, there's a little buzz underneath. I know you can't hear it, but it's like someone's tapping from the other side of the screen. And most importantly, you can go to Apple CarPlay. And because my phone is in my bag on the floor beside me, it can connect to the Apple CarPlay system because, like BMW, it's wireless. There's also auto brake hold, which I've gone to in other cars, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. And here, under the adjustable armrest, is the wireless charging pad. There's drive mode select, and this is where you can raise or lower the suspension or choose a drive mode that best suits the driving conditions. If you can't be bothered, just leave it in automatic and the car will do it all for you. But it's the drive that makes this thing truly remarkable. The best thing by far about having such a big car, whoops, turn that down. I'd love to let you hear what the Bose sounds like, but I can't, as you know. The YouTubes will have a fit. The center console is beautifully laid out, and the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it is an 8-speed torque converter automatic transmission, not a DSG like it is in the others in the Volkswagen group, or Audi for that matter, is selected with this electronic selector. The brakes release automatically when you go into gear. You can see here that the 360-degree camera is telling me where to back to, And once I go into drive, that disappears. And that's where this air suspension comes in. It is absolutely divine. As we drive off, all the doors lock. Now the funny thing is, I've just got this in normal mode at the moment, and that's, by the way, what mode it always starts in, regardless of what you've selected last time. When you start the car, it will start in normal mode. It's nice and gentle. And the acceleration from 210 kilowatts worth of turbo diesel is kind and considerate. The steering, though, in any mode is not what I'd call super responsive. Yes, it does turn when you tell it to turn, there's no doubt about that, but it doesn't feel like there's any feedback. And of course, it's electric power steering, so there is no such thing as feedback. Any feedback you have is simulated. Now you can see how terrible this road surface is. It is absolutely shocking. And yet, this air suspension is just stepping over it. It is absolutely beautiful. You could really get spoilt by this, and limousine companies know this. And that's the thing, that limousine companies have started using these cars as transport instead of the sedans, which is what they once used to use. Visibility is excellent. Comfort is superb. The driver's seat is fully adjustable, and there's even a button in the system to move the squab in and out, so you can adjust it for rake and pitch and so forth. The temperature of the seat and the back, they can be changed because of course that's got climate control. And there's a sync button in the front, speaking of climate control, so that all four zones are going to be on the same temperature. Something that I, for one, think is an excellent idea. For $119,000, I find it difficult to think how I would get much better value. Everything has beautiful feel, and because it's an Audi, the interior is absolutely delicious. Once upon a time, I used to try and think of things I didn't like, and there's nothing about this Q7 I don't like. It is magnificent. Around town, as you see just now, you can dawdle at your heart's content. But now at highway speed, it is no noisier and no less comfortable than it was at 30 or 40 kilometers an hour. And that is something very few cars can say. And maybe that's why the limousine companies have chosen Q7. Here's the price and accessories that this one has. There's about $3,500 or thereabouts worth of extra gear in this car, bringing it up to $123,000 and some change. Now, when I stopped just then, the stop-start stopped. Because I've got the air conditioning going, it started again pretty quickly. Can I just talk quickly about the dash while we're stopped? This piano black, though I love piano black, finger marks are going to drive you bananas. But all of the stuff that looks like metal is actually metal, and that's something I really like. I also like this big vent that goes right across the dash. Of course, I've already mentioned the sunroof, which opens like so. So I press both buttons so the internal shade and the external glass are opening together. I'm not going to let that open right up. And now they'll shut again. Now the good thing about this is the opening is enormous. That's something that I really like. There is nothing worse than getting a sunroof with an opening this big. What's the point? I'm not going to talk too much about the Audi active display because I've gone into that really thoroughly with Volkswagen and Skoda, and they're basically the same, although this is running new software. Oops. Lady crossing. She's got a papoose and one in the pram. The good thing is that this doesn't feel big to drive. It is big, but it doesn't feel it. Just like Touareg and Kodiaq, which are the similar size, they're all related. It feels nimble and nice and luxurious. I like this a lot. There's something about driving a big car that makes you feel superior, a bit smug. And this has excellent fuel consumption. So so you're not worried about chopping down walruses. And that's it. That's all for Audi Q7. If you've liked the film, don't forget, leave a comment, hit like, and just there, excuse the kids, to subscribe.